shrouded in danger.
I came into this level half expecting to see Yoda in a half-sunken X-Wing over in one corner. Backwash, despite its kind of gross-sounding name, is by far my favorite of the new levels in the Halo 2 multiplayer map pack. This level is completely unique in every way. I mean, it looks nothing like any other Halo 2 level, single player or multiplayer. It's actually, if you remember Halo 1, the swamp level, this takes its inspiration from that. It's a medium-sized level, symmetrical. There's bases at opposite ends. It's very small bases with actually sentinel beams in there, believe it or not, which aren't there by default on any other Halo 2 level. Its visibility is low. It's raining. It's misty. It's foggy. It's tough to see. There's uneven terrain, little small hills, trees everywhere for cover. This map not only is the most interesting to look at, but it's probably certainly one of the most interesting to play. There's a central structure as well, just a small, like 3-story tube in the middle of the map that you can literally just run circles around. It's got small outer ledges that you can just run around. So if you can find yourself a shotgun, which there's a couple of them strewn about the map, you can literally just run laps around the central tube structure, and as guys come in, you can just start blasting them. There is a pretty good variety of weapons on this map. There's no rocket launcher, which is probably a good thing. It's nice to have a map without a rocket launcher for once. Alright, here we have Containment, by far the largest of the new Halo 2 levels. It's snowy, it's huge, it's full of vehicles, and if you're going to go it on foot, it's going to take you a long time to get there, especially if you're trying to make it back with a flag on foot. So obviously vehicle combat's a large part of this level. I wouldn't even try this with less than a 10-player game, 5-on-5. What you really should probably try to do is get a tank going across the middle of the field, a flag stealer and a Banshee heading in, and get a couple of guys in a Warthog, they're Gauss Warthogs on this level, to come in and try and pick up the flag carrier, because you can't actually get the Warthog into the base easily. So you're going to have to drop your flag stealer in, as we're trying to do here. There's a brute shot on top, which, by the way, live players already know, the brute shot is now actually an effective weapon, because the grenades have all been significantly increased in their damage, and also the brute shot's melee attack is also about a 2-hit kill now to a full health enemy. So here I have chosen the way to taking the flag on foot all the way back, and it can be done, but you're pretty paranoid the whole time. And there is again the brute shot in action, actually killing someone, which it did not prior to the release of this expansion pack.
Flag taken.
So you can see how large the bases are. They are just huge. And here's, tried the melee attack, but we're going up against a very heavily armed, overshielded opponent. Didn't go too well there. So here in the middle of the field, Gauss Warthog just trying to get across. There's large trenches between each base, so he's got these bridges getting in the way that you need to traverse. Teamwork is probably the biggest challenge. I mean, of course, it applies in any objective-based game, CTF or Assault, but in a level this size, it's very, very difficult, probably nearly impossible to go it alone. There's a teleporter right in the heart of each base near the flag capture point, where even if you've taken the flag, the enemies can go ahead and warp right through and be out near the middle of the field to try and come get you. So you will need help from your buddies in order to get back and capture the flag. While it may not look it, Warlock is actually a remake of Wizard from Halo 1. It artistically looks completely different. Much nicer looking now, if you ask me. But the layout is almost exactly the same. And what we found, not only with this map, but with all of the Halo 1 remake maps in the expansion pack, which there are a couple, they play so much better now in Halo 2 with the Halo 2 physics, the Halo 2 weapons, and any design tweaks the Bungie guys made to the levels. They play so much better in Halo 2 than they did in Halo 1. This map is no exception. Just about any game type was fun here. I mean, you can see we're just running around in a capture the flag game, but Warlock was great in capture the flag, either classic or multi-flag. It was fantastic in oddball. We actually played a 4-team oddball match in this level, which was just chaotic fun, especially with the increase in melee damage. People just cracking each other's skulls left and right. Lots and lots of kills. We played rockets on this map, which is fantastic. Swords is great here. Pretty much any game type, King of the Hill even, is fantastic here. Any game type works very well on this level. The challenge here is simply knowing the area, knowing where you're going next, which isn't too hard because it's a fairly simple layout, and just being wary of the newly powerful grenades. Throw them around corners to soften up and your opponents and then finish them off, and just you be able to look at your motion sensor and know where your enemy is, know if they're right above you, know if they're behind you, and be able to react accordingly. So this is called Sanctuary. It's a capture the flag friendly map, although as opposed to Relic or to Terminal, this one's geared more toward standard capture the flag, CTF Classic, because it's symmetrical. It's even on both sides. The bases are rather exposed, as you can see here. There's not really any way for the enemies to sneak into the base. If they get in towards that flag, you're going to see them. So the key to this level is teamwork. You need to go in with a plan, with a few guys, being able to get one guy in to take the flag and the others to watch his back, because then it's a pretty long walk back to the base. There's some rocks in the middle of the area, but still a decent amount of room to roam and shoot some stuff. Again, I found the plasma pistol battle rifle combo to be an excellent choice here. You can also grenade spam the enemy base if they're camping their own flag. You can flush them out pretty quick. You can see here also the stationary gun turret each base has for defense. It didn't come in too much a handy unless the enemies are trying to go right out the front, then you can kind of mow them down when they're trying to get away with your flag. But otherwise, the action's more on foot, on the ground. There are some upper levels, one upper level, that the reason to come up here, there's a sniper rifle on either side on these upper platforms. So you can go ahead and pitch a tent, camp out, and snipe in right in the enemy base, and a skilled sniper can wipe out the opposition pretty quick. The difficulty in it, really, the team nature of it. Again, the bases, the flags are so open that you can't get in and get the flag unseen. You're going to need help to get there and get out alive. And if you're playing CTF Classic where a touch return is on, you can make it. Sure, you can get the flag and get out 10 feet, but they're going to kill you, touch the flag, and return it. This is Turf. It's a smaller level set in Old Mombasa. You can see in the background, if you look up, which I don't think you'll see in this video, you can see the bridge that the Master Chief crosses in the tank early on in the single-player campaign of Halo 2. There's really 4 areas, and it's essentially 4 corners, which makes this just a perfect territories map.
Territory lost.
There's a warehouse out front coming right up here on the left. That's a Marine field headquarters. That's a good spot to have the battle rifle and just pick people off as they try to cross the street. Swords matches here. Swords matches are fun anywhere, of course. We here at the official Xbox magazine will play swords before we'll play anything else. We're just big sword freaks. But you can see roaming the back alleys, looking for victims in a swords match. The alleys tend to play more, the 2 back alleys tend to play more dual wielding and grenades, more close combat, whereas when you get out in the streets, there is a Warthog out there, but you tend to want to go battle rifle or some sort of longer range weapon out in the streets where there's just no cover whatsoever. So this is Elongation, which is a remake of Halo 1's longest level. And we previewed this for you a couple of issues back, and at the time, we just thought it would be a perfectly fun level because that's what it was in Halo 1. It was 2 long hallways, narrow hallways, really fun for like 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 capture the flag, and just a lot of carnage at a pretty rapid pace. But we were really pleasantly surprised when we sat down and played the Halo 2 version of this, because 2 changes make this map a whole lot more fun. You've got these conveyor belts that move in opposite directions in either hallway, and then you've got crates that drop down on top of the belt and move along it. And what this does is, It just moves it along. You can grab the flag and then ride the conveyor belt all the way back without showing up on the motion sensor, since you're not actually moving yourself. But what it also does, those crates make it really interesting to try and throw grenades and get people, or we quickly took a liking to rockets matches on this level, because those crates, sure, they provide cover against the rockets, but they don't protect against all of the splash damage. So you can be hiding with right in front of a crate, and someone shoots the other side of the crate, you'll still go down because the force of that rocket is so great. And of course, you're trying to hop up on top of the crates, you're trying to hop over them, you're going against the conveyor belt, so or you can be moving with it and move really fast. There's the second level to try and get to on the higher ground and shoot down at people from above. Rockets is by far the best game type on Elongation. This is Gemini, one of the, again, more visually interesting Halo 2 maps, certainly both in the multiplayer map pack and in the game in general. As you can see, it's themed off of the later levels of the single-player game. You're going to find some brute shots here, a couple of teleporters. There's the quick little beam jumper lift there. Gemini, we played quite a bit of it, and nothing really stuck with us. As visually interesting as the level is, just nothing was really too fun with it. Compared to the other levels are all so good, Gemini was the only real disappointment. This is Terminal, another objective-friendly map. It's very long, and I mean that literally. It's one end to the other. It takes a long time to cross it, especially on foot, even with a vehicle. So there's a couple different, three or four different vertical levels to this. There's a very ground level. There's a couple of in-between levels, including the train tracks, which we'll get to in a minute. This one's suited very much to single flag CTF because it's asymmetrical. You've got two different sides, the defending side and the attacking side. The defenders will start out with a Wraith, so it's in their best interest to protect that. And of course, the attackers get a Warthog, so that is in their best interest to keep alive. And here you can see the middle of the map. There's the train buzzing by. It comes and goes in both directions at certain intervals, and if you happen to be on those tracks and it comes by, you will be killed no matter what vehicle you're in, whether you're on foot, no matter if you've got an overshield. That train will crush you. It is the train of death, as we quickly call it, and it will wait for no one. Just what is it that happens to you when you get in the train's way? Well, you can hop up on the rails and, oh, yeah, if you time it poorly, you're going to go down. But it is interesting to go up there because there are a couple of interesting items. There's a sword up there, which can be handy if you're trying to get to the flag. There's the sword. But there's also an overshield nearby, too. The train alternates in directions. If you're smart about it, you can use the train tracks to get around. You just have to keep switching sides as the train goes by on the other track. This is Relic, which, if you've played Halo PC at all, which we play Halo anything, as you all know, this reminded me a lot of Gearbox's Death Island map from Halo PC, and that's a good thing. They're both huge island beaches. This is not nearly the size of Death Island on Halo PC, but it's still a pretty good-sized map. It's one main structure here in the middle, where in Capture the Flag games, the flag stand is straight ahead here at the very end on the edge of the tower. The surrounding beach is the attackers. They need to get up into the structure and try and steal the flag and get it back to the edge of the beach. There's a single rocket launcher in this map over near the edge of the water, and both teams kind of have an equal opportunity at it early in the game, and whoever can get to it first certainly has a distinct advantage. Each side, too, gets a sniper rifle, and sniping's a big part of this level because there's plenty of open space, and as you're trying to get the flag back to, the attackers are trying to get the flag back to the beach, the defenders can try and snipe them, and vice versa. The defenders, or I should say the attackers that are trying to steal the flag can try and just snipe the defenders away and get them and clear themselves a path back to the beach and for the score. So you can see we've hopped in our Warthog as the attacking team, and we're heading for the beach as I'm instructing my driver here. The rocket launcher's over here, so we'll hop over hop out of the Warthog and grab the rocket launcher, and then we'll just march right on up into their base, take the flag, and really the best thing to do here is just toss the flag once you've got a hold of it. It's right on the edge, as you'll see momentarily. Just toss the flag right off the side and out into the open, and then your team can start trying to volley it from there.